everyone, Jai Jagannath. Welcome back to my channel again. I hope you and your family members are doing good, keeping safe. So yes, I'm Subhishmita. In this today's video, I'll be talking about some useful Git commands which we are using frequently on daily basis or day-to-day life. So if you are a fresher and you are preparing for an interview for software developer or software QA engineer, this will be really helpful. So please do not skip anything and keep it watch it till end. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, what is Git? Git is a version control system. Okay, and it tracks the changes you make to files, and will be having the list of records what has been done till now. And if you want to switch back to the previous version, you can easily go. And by using Git, it is really easy. You can say the collaboration is easier because it allows changes done by multiple people and can be merged into a single source. Okay, so let's go to the main point. What kind of commands we are using for this Git? So first command is git clone. Okay, what this git clone will do? This git clone will copy and download the existing repository, remote repository. Okay, let's say you are started working with a company, so they will be having one repository where all the codes, all the existing codes are there. Now you are new to organization, so you will be getting a laptop, and so you'll be having the system. So from the remote, you have to remote repository. That remote repository you have to copy to your local one. So you have to use this git clone command, git clone and the repository URL. So how to get the repository URL? Just go to the GitHub. So the GitHub URL you will be getting from your manager or from peers. Go there and go to the particular repository, and after that you will be seeing an option called code. Click on the code and copy the HTTP URL. Remember, you do copy that HTTP URL. So there will be two options. One is SSH and one is HTTP URL. Copy that HTTP URL. Come back to your command line. Okay. Now create a let's say one folder, one directory you create, mkdir, let's say test. Go inside the test folder, cd test. Now write that command git clone and the copied repository URL, git clone and the repository URL. Click on enter. So it will download the repository, okay, to your current local system. Once it is done, you will be having the existing code base in your local. Now you have the code. Now you have to make some changes because you have to work on, and like you have to make some changes for adding a new feature, or maybe you have to modify some existing functionalities. So directly you should not do. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to create a branch. What is branch? Branch is like so let's say you are just write git branch. Okay, if you do git branch, then it will be showing a default branch called master. So this master branch is this is a default branch, and this is the where all the clean code are there. So directly you cannot merge all your code to the master branch. So it has to be first first you have to write the code, and it has to be get it reviewed by your peers. Once that is done, then you can merge that. So as a developer, for a developer, you have to write some code in a particular branch. It has to be reviewed, then it has to be tested thoroughly, and once that testing has been done, then only you can merge that code to the master branch. And if you're a software test engineer, automation engineer, then just like a peer, once the peer review your code, once they feels like this is okay, then they can merge that code to master branch. Okay, so you have to create again a copy of your master branch. So for that, what command we will be using, that is called git checkout -v. Okay, this is the command to create and switch to the particular newly created branch. So what commands we studied first? First one is git clone, which will copy and download the remote repository to your local one. Second is git branch, which will show which branch currently you are in. Third is git checkout -v, one branch, let's say test one. Okay, what this last command will do, this command will create a branch and switch to the switch to the branch, and this branch git checkout minus b test1 you will be writing, right? So what it will do, it will create a copy of your master branch, because now you are in master branch and you are writing this command. So which branch you are in and from where you are writing this command, that copy, that branch copy it will create. Okay, now you are in master branch and you wrote this command called git checkout minus b test1. So one test1 branch will be created, and it will, and you will be switching also. So what this git will do, it won't create directly, it will just see if already this test1 branch will be there, it won't create. Okay, it will say already a branch is there, so you have to provide a unique name. Okay, so git checkout minus b and a unique name. Then now you are in a new branch and it is a master branch copy. Now what you have to do, like if you do git branch, it will show the test1 branch, it will be in green color. Okay, which it will show in green color, so you will be getting to know, okay, this in this branch I am in. So it will show master, and in down it will show test1. So master will not be in green color, the test1 will be in green color. So which branch you are in currently, so that branch will be in green color. Okay, now what command you can do, that is called config, git config. So with git we can set our username and user email ID. We can set which email, which username. So you just write git config hyphen global user.name, and inside the double quotation write your name. So user.name, inside the double quotation write a name. Let's say my name is Subhashmita. So I'll write git config hyphen global user.name, inside the double quotation write it Subhashmita. And you can also configure your email ID. So for that same command a little bit changes, like git config hyphen global user.email, and inside double quotation I'll write my email ID. Let's say subhashmitamishra@gmail.com. Okay, like your company email ID you have to provide. So like this you can specify, you can configure your username and user email. So now you have to go to your Eclipse, you have to make some changes and then come back to command line again. So now what you have to do, you have made some changes, you are done with the code or something you have written which is like some code changes you have done. Now what you have to do, you have to add those changes. So there are three commands now. One is git add, git commit, and git push. Git add, what it will do, it will add whatever changes you have done. Once you add those, like it will come to staging area, and then you can commit your changes. Once you commit, you can push your changes. So why are we adding and then committing? Why are we not only committing? Just because let's say you have made some like you have made some code changes in hundreds of files, and you are very sure like 3-4 files or 90 files you have made some changes, which is fine, but other rest of the file you have done some changes but you are not sure of that. So you don't want to push that code. So for that only these two are coming. So git add, and file name you have to provide. Git add which file name you want to add. Let's say 3 files you have made some changes and you want to add 2 files. So git add and the path of the file. Okay, like that, whichever file you want to add, those file you can write. Let's say you want to add every file, then you can just write git add dot. It will file all the untracked files to your like it will come to the staging area. Once the git add has been done, you have to write one command called git commit, then minus m means message, then inside the double quotation you have to provide a meaningful message, so which will show like this commit has which changes. Like let's say you have done some changes for you are working for a e-commerce application and you have made some changes for login. Okay, then you can write git commit minus n login functionality. Okay, then it will show, like it will easier for any user to know like this commit has these changes. Once this git commit has been done, you can push those changes to your local branch. So your local branch name you have created a test1. So you can write git push origin test 1. So you can push that code to the GitHub. So now if you go to GitHub and search with your branch name, and once you search with the branch name, one option you will be getting called compare and create pull request. Click on there and then click on create pull request. So why this pull request is required? Because as I told you, you cannot do so you have done modifications in your local branch. That branch has to be merged to your master branch. So just create a pull request and give it to your peers. Once the review has been done, if you are working as a QA engineer and you have done this automation changes, then it has to be reviewed by your code reviewer. And once that code reviewer means your peers or your managers, okay, once the review has been done, if there are some review changes, then they will tell you like this changes you have to do. Okay, then you have to make some changes and again push those changes, and then after you can merge that code. Okay, so only once you have to create for PR, that is called pull request. Okay, so once you create pull request, if there are some code changes, review changes, you have to do that. If no changes are there, then just merge that pull request to the master branch. And if you are a developer, once the code review has been done, it will go for testing. Once the testing has been done, if no bugs found, then they can merge that to master branch. Okay, so after that, let's go to another command that is called git stash. So git stash, what it does, it will save all the changes. Let's say you are working some feature and there are some, let's say you are working as a developer and there is some production bug came up suddenly, and you are working with a feature. So the production bug that is very important, right? That has to be finished now only. You cannot keep that in pipeline, so you have to fix that. So and you are also working with some feature, so and you don't want to push that changes now because you are not done completely. So what you can do, you can save that. Okay, so just write git stash. If you do git stash, all the changes will be in there only. It will be saved. So then go back to master branch, do a git pull. So what this this is another command. Okay, this is git pull. What this git pull will do? This git pull command, it will download the latest changes. Okay, you have to just go to your master branch. Sorry, first of all you have to go to the switch back to your master branch and do a git pull. Okay, so let's say you are also working and you have like you will be not having the latest code, right? Because that day, let's say today you have done you just cloned that application, cloned that repository to your local, and now like after some 2-3 minutes, some other people pushed some code to the master branch. So that code is not there in your local, right? So that new code has to be there in your local. So first of all, what you have to do, you just go to your master branch and just write a command called git pull origin, then branch name, which branch you want to pull. That is called master branch. You want to have a latest code you want to copy to your local repository. So write git pull origin master. Then what it does, if there are any changes available, then it will download. If no changes are available, then it will just show already updated. Okay, once that is done, you create one more branch, git checkout -b and branch name, and start working with the production work. Once that is done, then come back to your feature branch where you want to work now. That is called test one, right? Just do for switching branch. What you do, git checkout -b. Okay, sorry, git checkout branch name. -b means it will create a new branch. Okay, and switch to a new branch. But only if you write git checkout branch name, it will just change the branch name. So I told you, right? So once you come to the test one branch, and for production bug also, production bug fix, you have to go to switch to master branch, right? So you have to write that command only, git checkout master. Then it will go to the particular, it will switch the particular branch. And now from you are there in some other branch, you want to switch back to some different branch. So just write git checkout which branch you want to switch. Okay, just write. and let's say you are writing git checkout some branch name which is not existing, then it will show it this branch is not there. Okay, you have to write some valid branch name which is exist. So just write git checkout test1, then it will change or it will switch to the test1 branch. Now you have done, I told you, so you have used that command, right? Git stash, I told you that will save the changes. Now you want to get back those changes, so just write git stash pop, then all the saving changes it will again come up. Okay, now again start working. So once you start working, then again you after your code changes has been done, just write git add file name, then git commit, then git push. And once the git push has been done, just go to your github, create a pull request and give it to your peers. If already if the same branch test1 branch already one PR has been done, right? So you do not have to create one more PR. If this PR is not closed, then you do not have to create again, like same PR you can use again. Okay, so and one more command also you can use, that is called git log. So what this git log will show, like it will show the chronological commit history. Okay, in the command line. So what it will do, like it helps like it will give you some context context, or you can say history for a repository, like in chronological order, what in the commits you have done in chronological order, it will show. Then one more command also you can use, that is called git rm. What this rm will do, this rm means what, like remove or delete you can say. So this will remove a file or directories. Okay, you can write let's say you have made some changes to a file and you do not want to keep that file, let's say you want to delete that file, so you can just write git rm. So there are two options now, git rm minus f and git rm minus add, and git rm minus cached. Okay, so what it will do, like this cached command, right? It removes the file from the working index, and like when remove and if you want to remove the entire directory, recursive command is necessary. Okay, so that is called git rm. So let's go one by one. Okay, first is git rm hyphen cached and the file name, it will remove that from the working index. Now if you want to remove that particular directory, you want to delete a particular directory, then and with let's say you want to in recursive format, then just write git rm minus r minus f and the file name, it will delete the entire directory forcefully. F means forcefully. And if you want to remove an entire directory from the working index, like cached, then just write git rm minus r minus cached and the directory name. Okay, and what more, I had only this much commands with me. So if you like this video, if you feel like you got some clue, please like this video and share it with your friends. And if you do not subscribe yet, then please subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.